Hey everybody, Larry Lawton here. I have a great video for you today. The video today is going to be about how food service works in prison. Not only food service works, the kind of food and that kind of stuff you get. I'm not talking about the commissary food, I'm not talking about the bought food, I'm talking about the prison food. So, how does it work? First of all, they do serve you on the yard. At every prison I went, they serve you 3 meals. The 3 meals consist of the breakfast meal, lunch meal, and of course, dinner meal. Lunch meal was 6 o'clock. After they crack the doors, they start calling chow almost immediately. Maybe 6:10, something like that, 6:15. They'll probably open the doors in most units, and then each unit is called by a system they set up. Most prisons set up that who goes first to the chow hall. Here's what they don't want to happen. They're not going to just open the prison and say, okay, everybody go to chow. Because then it's going to be a mass rush for the chow hall, and it's going to be mayhem. There'll be lines forever. People are going to be arguing who was there first. You can't do that. So what they do is, you got to remember, when you got a prison of 1,500, 2,000, or 1,700 inmates, you don't just release them. That's a recipe for disaster, number one. So what they would do is they'd take, like in every prison I was in, you had different units, like an A house, a B house, a C house, even a D house. They'll say, okay, A1 to chow, A1 to chow. Everybody, they open the door, the guard opens the door there, the guy heads back to they all head back to the chow hall. And after the chow hall, you don't have to go back to your unit. You can go to the yard. You can walk it off, you can do certain things, especially the lunch chow and the dinner chow. The yard's open for hours. The yard isn't open for hours in the mornings. They'll actually have a recall. They'll open the yard at 6 a.m. like normally, so when they call chow, the first chow, if you wanted to go to the yard, you can do that. And when you go to the yard, they're gonna have recall, I think about 7:30, something like that, chow's all, because then they'll have work call at 7:45. And work call means, it's not like you can go to, just live in your cell, sleep when you want, do what you want in prison. It doesn't work like that. Not in prison. Everybody gets assigned a job. Either you find a job or you get assigned a job. When I was lucky enough to get to Atlanta, my first job there, and I had multiple, my first job there was in the kitchen. All the gangsters would be in the kitchen. Nicky Scarfo, Vic Arena, Patty Amato, Vic Amuso. They worked in the kitchen. Now, when they're in the kitchen and they work in the kitchen, all our job was in prison was to fill the napkin holders. You heard that right. Fill the napkin holders. That was our job. So we would get up early before 6 o'clock, obviously, because you're working in the kitchen. They'd start getting kitchen workers to work at 4 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning, whatever it is, because they're getting ready to feed the whole entire prison. Actually, after the first unit was called, when I worked in the chow hall, we were then allowed to go home. We were allowed to go back to the unit or go to the gym or go to the outside rec yard or something like that. We were allowed to do that. And that was great. It really was. And important. Now, jails are gonna be a whole different animal. So let's put jails aside, because a jail isn't a prison. A jail is supposed to be a temporary holding facility for pre-court people who have not went to trial yet. So it's pre-trial detainees are in jails. Now they'll also have people who are under a year. If you get sentenced to under a year, you usually go to a jail. That's it. They might have halfway houses, they might have work release, might have a lot of other things. Different states have different things. But normally you will go to a county jail, and now that's where you're gonna do your time. Now the feds don't do that. They're not giving you that. You're going to the feds. I don't care if you get 3 months, you're going to the feds. If you do a tax crime and you get a 3-month sentence, you're going to a camp or whatever it is gonna be a camp. And you go for the 3 months there. I mean, literally the 3 months there. So it's amazing that people get a little bit confused on how chows work. Oh man, they come right to you. In jails, they don't have a chow hall. They have a kitchen on one of the floors in the jail, and then they have those trays that they put all the food on, and they go to every unit in that jail, every floor in the jail, or unit, call them what you want, and then they feed people. That's exactly how they feed people. But in prisons, now these are places that people are incarcerated for more than 365 days. So if you get 365 days plus 1 day, you are going to a state prison. That's how that works. Now, when you get to that state prison, you don't get the chow delivered to you, you know, in trays and that shit. No, you have to go to a chow hall and then pick a tray, get online, do everything you have to do, and that's it. You have to do that. This is how food works in prison. So every prison is gonna have the 3 meals, and the first meal, of course, is breakfast. They serve between, again, 6:15 to 7:30. Whole prison. Next chow, they serve from 10:45, maybe 11, until it's done, which is usually about 12:30. At 10:30, they'll have recall for all the people at Unicor, or the Unicor workers will go straight to chow at 10:30. They're always the first to get chow on lunch hour because they're workers. Unicor is prison industries. So prison industries is fucking slave labor. So what do? They fucking make sure those motherfuckers are ate, fed, and go back to your fucking work. Obviously, you don't have to go back to work. They get chow first, then they can go to the unit, use the bathroom, do whatever they want. And they, you know, everybody has work call. I think it's usually at 12:30 or 1 o'clock would be work call. And that's it. They would call work call, work call. Now, it's different than the move. You know, there's a movement every hour in a prison, in a secure prison, like a maximum security prison or a medium security prison. They have what they call movements. So it's not like you just get up, walk here, I want to go to the library, or I want to go to the medicals, or I want to go to the yard. No, you have to wait for the move. The whole prison is locked down. Doors are locked everywhere. Some prisons even have what they call overtime or extra time working Unicor. Now, mind you, they're paying these people slave wages. Let's just work them for 12 hours today. It's really something I used to get offended about because it's literally slave wages. And a part of me believes they don't want to reduce time and they don't want to reduce number of people in prison because somebody's making a lot of money. Obviously, private prisons make a lot of money, but even the regular prison, the state prisons or whatever they are, or the federal prisons, they are making items. Now, I heard one person say, oh, they're not allowed to make items that can compete with industry. Unless that's changed, it's bullshit. They do have some jobs, I will say, that somebody can learn and then working on the outside. Obviously, food service. If you're a cook and you can cook for, you know, 1,200, 1,500, 2,000 people, you gotta know how to do that. I mean, I couldn't do that. I mean, I wouldn't have a clue how to fucking start to do that. There is other jobs, like they have what they call CMS. CMS is where all the maintenance and all this shit is done. So they'll have electricians, they'll have plumbers. But here's the catch. They're not teaching them. They wanna know what you did when you were on the outside. And if you were a plumber on the outside, you can bet that you're gonna be called into CMS and you're gonna work on the plumbing detail. If you were a carpenter, you might work on the maintenance detail, or you were a electrician, for sure you're working on it. So they're not teaching you electrical work. You are fucking just giving your skills for free is what you're doing, period, end of story. So let's get back to the food. First of all, the food sucks. Sucks. I don't even know if I could say that any nicer. You know, it's terrible. No, it fucking sucks. It was so bad when I was in the United States Penitentiary, Atlanta. I got there in 1997. When I got to Atlanta, I was there about a year, and I fucking ate a hamburger. It was such bad meat. It chipped my tooth. There was bone in it. And it actually, the box in the kitchen, because when I first went to Atlanta, I worked in the kitchen with the filling napkin holders with the mobs. There's a box down there. It said, Desert Storm, 1992. This is in 1997 when I saw that. So nobody's touching that meat. They couldn't give that fucking meat away. They couldn't give it to a homeless shelter. Besides that, now, every prison I was in the feds, either Friday or Wednesday, either was chicken or hamburgers. Chicken or hamburgers. It would be the same day every week. So if you had hamburgers on Wednesday, every Wednesday, it was the easiest menu to put together, I guess, in the world. They'd have hamburger. You'd think that's the great meal. I guess it is if you want to really consider that the fucking greatest meal. Also, Friday would be chicken day. Listen, I like chicken. I'm a big chicken lover. I love Kentucky Fried Chicken. I love the Colonel. So those are the 2 days you'd have different types of food in prison. You know, those types. And most people went to those. Those were the busy days in the kitchen. And you'd go there. You'd want to go there. Well, after I hit that shit, I chipped a tooth in Atlanta. I never fucking ate meat for a year. For a whole year, I had no meat. I became a vegetarian. I didn't even call it a vegetarian because I like meat. I think I ate the chicken, so I'm not a vegetarian, but I sure didn't eat a piece of fucking meat, a hamburger, like beef or anything like that. Not one piece, not one fucking piece. It was that bad. Some chow halls had a salad bar. Every morning, they would have a, when I say a salad bar, this is not, you're not looking like you're at, I don't know what the fucking places are, one of those places that have all you can eat and shit. No, it's not like that. They'd have maybe a bowl of salad, cut up lettuce. I mean, it's not like having all the shits, all the fucking kind of dressings and shit like that. No. At least the prisons I was in, it didn't have that. Then, in the mornings, that salad bar you want to call it, they'd usually put cereal there, you know, in a bowl, cereal. I once looked in the cereal and I saw fucking ants crawling in the cereal that was in the fucking thing. So, you know, you're not getting the fucking best of food. Breakfast to me, I always ate, I like to go to, got me up, I'd have a glass of milk, make a glass of juice if they had the juice that day. They didn't have juice every day, but whatever it was, I liked eggs, powdered eggs, I didn't give a shit about. I liked them. I just liked breakfast or something in my system, and I did it all the time, pretty much breakfast. Oh, you're not sleeping in. Told you, I never slept past 6 o'clock in the morning, ever in prison, ever. Because you gotta be ready for something to jump off. So now, the same food that's in our kitchen is also the food that is prepared. There's 2 or 3 guys in the back of the kitchen who are preparing the trays for the hole. Now the hole, let's just say that, I'm gonna give a number, the hole has 112 people. There's 112 people in the hole. And they'll always put 2 to 3 trays more on this cart. Because what happens if a guard, and the guards deliver the food. Inmates do not deliver food to each cell in the hole. Only the guards. But what happens if a guard just drops the tray? Obviously he's got to get another one, but he's going to wait until they come and they send a guy down just for a tray. No, they put a few trays up there. And those were good when I did a lot of hole time, is because if the guard was cool, he'd see you, he'd walk by your cell, Lawton, here's another tray. I didn't have that much because I wasn't liked. But some of the guards did like me, so I'll go against that. It was the administrations that didn't like me, because I would fucking buck the system. But anyway, keep going back to what we're doing. Now, so the people in the hole are fed. The same meal that's on the yard is the same meal that's gonna be in the hole. And they just prepare it in the trays, the little things with the covers and the compartments and stuff like that. And always, usually like a carton of milk or a carton of jungle juice or some shit. You know, little like, it looked like a half a pint, or not a pint, it was a half a pint. And it's the little things, little boxes. I used to keep those because I used to be able to boil water with those. Yeah, one of those. Put a string through the top, put water in it, and then when you put the flame underneath it, it won't burn through because the liquid is getting hot. It's heating the liquid in there. It's not heating the outside. It heats the outside, but it's not gonna boil it. You can actually test that theory. Please don't do this. But if you burn yourself, why do you blister? You ever really burn yourself? You get a blister. And that blister is because it's the liquid under your skin that is popping up. But the skin ain't touched, hurts and all that, but it's the underneath that skin that the water boiled or whatever you want to go, and that was why you can know that happens. And then in prison you have nighttime chow. That's the meal the least people go to. The least people go to night chow. Some people just don't want to go. Some people eating on a commissary. Some people have their commissary because they'll run commissary during chow hall sometimes, chow time. And, if you got your number and it's your day, because again, here's something else you don't do. You don't just go to the commissary and say, hey, I'm here, I need 3 hot pockets. No, you have to put a list in. They give you a big list. You get them at the chow hall, at the commissary, or usually they even had a window at the chow commissary, with a box, and there'd be all these things. You can go get one. So you get that commissary list only items they have, and you get to check what you want. And then you put it in on a Monday, and your commissary day might be Wednesday. So you had to have it 2 days. All of those slips are picked up by people at commissary, and they start filling those orders, literally filling those orders in the chow hall. That's exactly what they do. And not chow hall, in the commissary, they fill the things, and you come up, you give them, you don't have cash or anything. You have your inmate ID card, and on your account has your money. And they know who you are. They should, boom, there's not even a strip on the back of it or something. Oh, okay, like it's a credit card. No, boom, boom, boom. Lawton's got $412 in an account. Now he's got $212 because he just spent $200. That's how commissary works. Well, back to food. Most people I found eventually did not go to the chow hall at dinner. A lot of them did, obviously. You didn't have money, you're gonna go there. Also, when you get good in prison about food, I was a bookie and I hustled, they call it, and I ended up having a cook. Yeah, my own cook. And people go, what the fuck, prison, Lord? You said it was sucky and this. No, it sucks. You have a buddy who works in the kitchen, and you tell him, hey, listen, I used to tell Frankie, Frank, I want you to be my cook. I'm gonna give you $25 a week. I think it was maybe more, $50 a week, whatever it was. And you have to give him it in stamps. This guy used to deliver my food to my cell. And he was getting the food out of the officer's mess, which is different from where the inmates eat. And it shouldn't be, and they tell you, no, these officers have to pay for their meals, and because it's all supposedly regulated money. It's a crock of shit too, and everything. I mean, the guys who work the kitchens are all inmates. So the guys who work the officer's mess, they would tell us, man, you should see the shit they got down there, and they put their shit on the table, big cheese and shit, bottle, for when they make stuff. Now those guards are supposed to eat the exact same stuff we eat. They had their own cook. They had their own area. They had servers so they could sit down at a table and get their meal. I don't know if I would do that if I was a guard and trust it, because how do you know this motherfucker ain't gonna spit in the food? I know you're thinking that because that's what I keep thinking, but it is. So the food sucks. 3 meals a day, you do get those. Now, let me throw a little wrench in that. If there's a lockdown, you'll get a bologna sandwich. Literally a bologna sandwich. And I don't even mean like a nicely made, like your mom would make you a nice bologna sandwich, put the mayo, cut it, and fuck you. 2 pieces of bread, 1 fucking slice of bologna, and fucking nothing. That's it. Believe me, I ate those because you can't fuck up bread, really, unless it's stale when they do that. And during a lockdown, if there's a prison lockdown, they still gotta feed you. I've seen them drop to 2 times a day. Yes, feed you 2 times a day. By law, they can do that. And they use the great saying, of course, for the safe and orderly running of the institution, we had to cancel morning chows, and now we're gonna have a chow at 10 o'clock till whatever, and they'll deliver it. Because when there's a lockdown, they actually don't like a lockdown in the prison. You think, oh, it's quiet, nothing can happen. No, because all the staff workers have to come in and work. The librarians, the fucking people in education, the CMS workers, the office staff, the case manager, the unit manager, they all gotta work. Delivering trays, doing shit. That's how that works. So they don't like lockdown, let me put it that way. I think I explained all ways food works in prison. The number of times it's chow, what times they are chow. They are at, always it would be about 4:45 at night for dinner. Maybe 5, depending on when count clears. They have 4 p.m. stand-up count. Count used to clear by 4:10, 4:20, maybe 4:15, 4:20, 4:20. Something goes wrong, someone missed a count, because they gotta literally physically count every person in that prison. The guards in your unit, you're locked in now again. They lock you in for 4 p.m. count, and then they say stand on your feet, and that guard walks around every cell. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Some of them even at clickers, like a meter. So after clear count 4:30. They'll have what they call a rec move. The rec move will happen at 4:30, 4:40, whatever. And then after that, right after rec move is closed, they start calling the chow halls. And again, they give the rotation of how they give the meals out. Who gets called first to the chow hall? Usually by inspection, and usually by the cleanest unit will be first to be called. And they'll have an inspection every Thursday or whatever the fuck. I didn't give a fuck. Not many people did, especially in penitentiaries. Big deal. You give me a fucking 30 minutes, like, get the fuck out of here, just the way it is in prison. I am gonna go with that. I think you know a little bit about how food works in prison. It sucks. The food is the worst of the fucking worst. Buy ramen noodle soups, learn how to cook them, and you'll have a lot better meals. Have a great day, everybody. Please stay safe. You know, I do these videos and I think about, you know, people learning about things. I just want you to always emphasize, I'm always preaching, make good choices. Please make good choices. Have a great day, stay safe. See you next time.